hip and ankle mobilization with the Superband. Starting with the ankle, just to fix the band just right above the ankle. And what you're going to do is walk away from the anchor point of where the band is to get some tension in the band. Then you're going to kneel down and just keeping the heel planted and the toes planted. Try to get as much ankle flexion, dorsiflexion, as you can while keeping the heel planted. You're stretching the lower part of your calf, but more importantly, you're getting into your tendon, your Achilles tendon. And just mobilizing that ankle, giving yourself, your ankle, more freedom to move. So take about 30 to 60 seconds with each of these mobilizing points that I show you, and see how I'm going to move the angle of my knee. I start out to the side, I get more of a medial stretch on the tendon, and then I find a different plane to stretch the tendon. This is more lateral, outside. Great. Then after we do the ankle, we're going to move up to the hip. We're just going to slide the band right into the crease here, just below your hip bone, on the top of your thigh. And then we're going to kneel down. Get a little bit of tension in the band, kneel down. This is the banded hip flexor stretch. So once you get a little bit of tension in the band, you got to find the right spot too. You don't want to have too much tension, and you don't want to have no tension at all. Somewhere in the middle. Posterior pelvic tilt. Feel the tug. Gently lean in. And then reach up and behind with the elbow. And then try to make this not a static stretch. You're moving the joint around to get all areas of the soft tissue, all the surface area. Move the joint through different ranges of motion. With that tension on the band, it just gets in places that you don't normally get. Okay, so then from the hip flexor, after about 30 to 45 seconds of that, going to go into what I call the inner thigh stretch. You're just going to internally rotate. Drop the ankle toward the floor, and then stretch the inner thigh here. Hands around the ground, just right in front of your foot. So all we're doing is positioning the body around the stretch so that it's as easy as possible. And again, we're just trying to mobilize, get different areas of a range of motion that you don't normally get to. Okay. Then from here, we're going to move into the what I call the sprinter stretch. You're like a sprinter on the blocks. Band right below the hip. And then start at like a 90-degree angle. You're always looking for 90-degree angles, 90-degree, 180. You're trying to work through your ranges of motion and the different angles that I put you in here. And here we're just rocking back and forth. Basically, what is this? Your squat range of motion, right? I'm dropping deep into my squat right here. And we're just getting at soft tissue and fascia, tight muscle tissue. And we're just trying to work it out. Get your body used to moving through that range of motion. So each of these, minimum 30 seconds, take a minute or two to just work through different ranges of motion and just get the joint moving around. Then from here, what we're going to do from the sprinter position is a crossover from behind. Keep this foot anchored and planted. See how I'm gripping the floor with my back toes? Cross over at like a 45-degree angle. Try to keep the foot planted. And I don't have to do a whole lot here. Getting deep into my piriformis and glute here. Just by achieving this angle position, deliberate position. Getting a deep piriformis and hamstring stretch here. And then again, use the back foot to steer you up and back to hit different aspects of the muscle and the area we're trying to get more fluidity. Okay, so then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around so that you're like sideways now. Again, 90 degrees to start here at the knee. Unbanded leg is out straight to the side. And you're going to feel a really good adductor stretch here, even though we're not really working that with the band. Again, we're just giving the joint another angle of force to where we access different tissue that we don't normally get to. Up and back. And when you're down here, take your time and articulate your pelvis a little bit. This is where people don't really get to in their squat, because then they're really locked up. If you can just, in a very careful and methodical way, get to those positions and work on achieving good posture in those positions, you will improve your mobility. This feels great for me. All right, and then from there, what we're going to do is the hamstring. We're going to get back up on our feet. And then walk out with that banded leg. And then get your fingers on the floor in front of you. I'm going to start nice and bent, and then I'm going to try to get into my hamstring. Straighten that knee. Try to keep that pelvis tilted. If, when you go to straighten your knee and really access that hamstring here, you roll out your pelvis because you don't have the hamstring flexibility, then you got to reset. Try again. And then just go as far as you can before that starts to happen. And then just work in that range. And again, we're going to try different planes of motion. We're just moving around. It's not just stretching the muscle. We're like moving the joint. Okay, that's hip and ankle mobility. Obviously, you do both sides. And then after you're done, give yourself a squat and see how good you feel. This feels great to me. It didn't 5 minutes ago.